So I want to thank everyone for joining this part of Adobe Day. We've got special guests from Datajoin. We've been working with Datajoin for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, um, on connecting Adobe Analytics and Salesforce data. And they've got a great presentation for us. So with that, I'm going to pass it along to Sam and Nate. So thank you guys for joining, and I'm going to be quiet and let you guys do your thing.
Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. Just on the heels of your break, I'm gonna play a little song. I'm Hawaiian, so I play the uke. So this song's for you.
All right.
I wrote it all by myself.
Nice.
Salesforce data in Adobe makes me happy, makes me feel fine. Oh, that data makes me warm inside. Makes me feel like I'm gonna love you till the end of time.
Woo! Oh, wait a minute. You've been holding out for a year and a half on me, bro. I didn't know you could put them down like that.
Oh no, just share a little bit of just share a little bit of that aloha with you guys. Try to get a little bit of a live feel here with some live music. But yes, very nice to be with you all today. My name is Sam. I'm with Datajoin, and Eric really said it. We've been working now for about a year and a half to 2 years, getting this data connected from Salesforce into Adobe Analytics. And I've got Nate here with me as well. Nate, if you wanna intro yourself?
Yeah, great to be with you. I can't sing like Sam can or play the ukulele, but man, we're excited to be with all of you, and thanks for taking time. We've got a lot of fun things to share, and like Sam and Eric mentioned, we're really excited about pushing this data to the place where you guys need to use it and where you can use it in the tools of choice. So super excited to be with you today. We also, know it's lunchtime, so if you've got a couple questions at the end, I'm sure we can dig up an Uber Eats certificate for a couple of you who have the first question. So, have those queued up at the end of the presentation.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Nate. Thanks, Eric. Just a quick intro to our company, Datajoin. So, what we're doing is integrating data that's already in your stack somewhere, right? It might live in Adobe, it might live in Salesforce, it might live in Marketo, and we're pushing it, from system to system. So you don't have to go anywhere for it, right? You can find it right in the tool that you use every day and activate it. And so I think this is a good kind of illustration of our micro integrations and how they work. But you've got data that's in Marketo that you'd like to get into Adobe, or you got data from Eloqua that you'd like to get into Adobe, or in this case Salesforce. That's what we're going to talk about today. And all of this, is data that it makes marketers happy, right? Like in the song, that's what we're trying to do with these micro integrations, is give you the data you've been dreaming of having in your hands, but it's hard to get that kind of data. So that's a little overview about Datajoin and our micro integrations. When we met, Eric said we've been working now for a year and a half, 2 years. We were approached by AppDynamics, which is owned by Cisco, and they had a problem that's not really a new problem. This is a problem that is known in B2B marketing for years and years now, right? Where they really had limited visibility in tracking their marketing campaigns, how they're doing down funnel, and this is a tough problem. It's 2022, and if you go look up any top 5 challenges that marketers face in 2022, you'll still see attribution and customer journey visibility. Those will still be in most of those lists that are out there, and it's been that way for like the last 5 years, 10 years, because it's a really tough problem to solve, connecting these two worlds together. Adobe Analytics is very good at talking to the customer, tracking everything on the web, and Salesforce is very good at talking to the customer as well. The problem is there's like a firewall between these two systems, and they just weren't built to talk to each other out of the box. And so, Datajoin, we've created these micro integrations to solve for that problem, to really make it simple and to be able to send that Salesforce data into Adobe Analytics so that you can have, better optimization, better reporting, and better personalization and activation, as we'll see in a little bit. We can go through a demo. Nate, you wanna talk a little bit about Greg and his use case and kind of the outcomes there?
Yeah, Greg, who heads up some of the web analytics, he really was excited to be able to not only have this data to help better understand this attribution, but it's also about personalization, right? And as all of you know, because you're Adobe experts or trying to be Adobe experts, that's really the key, right? Having personalization as well as the attribution so that you can act on the data. And having this, like Sam's going to show you here in a minute, where it's automated and into analytics workspace so that on a daily basis, you and your teams can access this and really use it, creating segments, pushing those out to different tools that you need. This is really where it's powerful. And Greg, I don't know if he was able to join the call today, but Greg really and his team have really enjoyed this. And we're working with 2 BUs right now in Cisco on their integrations of this. And so we're really excited about helping teams get this up and running.
Awesome. Okay, demo. Let me pull up App Dynamics instance and an analysis workspace that we have, so we can show some of this data and what it looks like inside of Adobe. Let's see. All right, awesome. So here we've got a UTM campaign analysis, and this is a standard type of report that every marketer would have, right, inside of Adobe Analytics. They just want to see how their campaigns are tracking in terms of visits and other site metrics. And so what we have here, we just open up the site panel here to show all the metrics that are available. So we've got these extra metrics here that, I wish I could highlight them on the screen because they're just not here out of the box. Like, these metrics are coming from Salesforce, and it's normally very, very, very tough to be able to get this data into Adobe and associated, to the visitors. But we've got it right here, with this integration. So if we wanted to see how the campaign is doing, not just from a visit standpoint, but if we want to see how it's doing down funnel in terms of how many MQLs that it's generating, we could pull that into the workspace here and start seeing that visibility. So great. So we can see here, MQLs now by campaign within the month. And, not all campaigns are created equal, right? We can look at this report and see that even though this campaign has been driving the most visits, it's driven 11 MQLs compared to this other, number 7 down here, has, maybe a third of the traffic, but has delivered almost 4 times the amount of MQL, right? These are the type of insights that you can get once you have, this Salesforce data inside of Adobe Analytics. Let's just pull in the SALs as well and see what this looks like. So you can just keep going further down funnel. Whatever you're storing inside of your Salesforce that matters to your org, if that's MQL or if that's MAL, if that's opportunities, you want to go deeper down funnel, or if you want to do opportunity stages or even close deals and revenue, like all of that is fair game and able to be pulled into Analysis Workspace with our micro integration. So, once again, these visits, that's out of the box with Adobe, but this MQL and this SAL, this is coming from Salesforce, right? And we can see further down the funnel that this campaign drove 39 MQLs this month, 33 SALs this month. And, this is visibility that makes marketers happy, because now they can go into stakeholder meetings and they can prove and they can show, like, hey, this is what our campaigns are driving, not just top of funnel but also down funnel. One other powerful use case that we see, well, I guess before I go to the second use case, Nate, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the time might be here to sort of jump out any quick questions anybody has of what we've shared so far. Anybody have a quick question or hey, I'm not sure how this is working, or I'm not understanding any of this, just so we have a level set? So far, so good.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Yes, I'm rather new to my team with IoT marketing. So I deal with I saw the image earlier. So how does this compare? So I deal with Adobe Analytics, I deal with Domo, and I also deal with I guess Eloqua. So how does the SAL MQL compare to information that's already synchronized in Domo?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, really, like this data is coming directly from Salesforce. And as you know, like data can have a lot of different definitions, right? There could be a lot of filters applied to it. You know, even in Domo or even here, if you apply certain logic, then it could change like the numbers, right? Like for example, you know, maybe MQLs here are being defined one way, and then in Domo, they're defining it a slightly different way. So I think the short answer is it depends, right? I think you have to look at those definitions of how you're pulling it into both systems. But you know, what we've done here is we basically met with the Salesforce team and said, hey, what is your definition of MQL? And they say, hey, it's any lead record, you know, with this. It's got an MQL date that's not null, right? And that's the definition that they've given us, and we're able to pull it in here, and now it could be used for reporting as we've shown, but as we're going to show, it can be used for activation, which is really the big use case with these micro integrations. So I hope that answered the question, David. Let me
Yes.
follow up on there. So
If I can add just a footnote in, so I guess really quickly, David, so what's happening with Domo and it's pulling in data the same way Adobe Analytics is via Telium. So the Domo data doesn't have Salesforce data, first and foremost, right? And it's just kind of more or less it's pulling from the same web traffic Telium tag management source, right? So the value add with Datajoin is they're adding an extra layer into Adobe Analytics, pushing that Salesforce data into Adobe Analytics that doesn't exist in Domo. And so that's the value add here. So I'm not sure if that makes sense or not.
It now it does. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yep.
I think there was a question from Eric. Let's see. Was it Eric Gross Holtz? Okay, go ahead, Sam.
I didn't have a question, sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, go ahead, Sam.
okay, all right. I think that's our first Uber Eats right there, David. By the way.
Hey, there we go, David.
So, okay, so the second use case that I wanted to show you that, you know, this is where I feel like is really powerful for Adobe Analytics users, is that you can, you know, this is Adobe Analytics. So it's not just for reporting, but it's part of a bigger Experience Cloud where you've got other tools in it, such as like Adobe Target, Adobe Ad Cloud. And you can, you know, create segments off of this data inside of Adobe Analytics, and you can push those into other parts of the Experience Cloud and actually activate on it, right? I think most analytics teams, they're just trying to catch up with reporting and getting visibility, let alone trying to activate on this data and do something about it. But that's kind of the beautiful thing about getting this data inside Adobe Analytics is it's living and breathing and ready to be acted on. So let me give you an example. If we wanted to create a segment, you know, of MQLs who haven't yet turned into an SAL, you know, we can do that. And it would be a dynamic segment, so we'll just call it MQLs and current MQLs that haven't SAL'd. So these are just different lead statuses. You know, for those of you not familiar to these acronyms, MQL stands for Marketing Qualified Lead, and then SAL normally stands for Sales Accepted Lead. And they're basically just progress steps for a lead through the marketing and sales funnel. So we can go ahead and create a segment. Let's include any visitors. Who MQL is equal to, you know, was equal to 1. And then let's just put another condition in here because we want to make sure that they're current MQLs. So we'll say MQL equals 1 and SAL equals, see what kind of options we have here. Let's try does not exist. You could say equals 0 or does not exist. Basically that they haven't had that event fire yet for that visitor. So it says that there's 3,422 visitors that meet this criteria, currently in the segment. And so what we can do is just create a segment off of this. And this is good because now we know, okay, these 3,422 visitors are floating around on our website and they are current MQLs who have not SAL'd. So if we create a segment out of these guys, let me just put this SFDC demo. So now that it's saved, you see this, publish this segment to the Experience Cloud. Oh, it went away, but there's a checkbox there at the bottom where you could push that segment to the Experience Cloud. And so if you're an Adobe target, you can pull that off of the shelf and say, okay, I've got 3,000 visitors on the site that are ready to be pushed to the next stage of the funnel. Let me personalize to them. Let me show them something different next time they come to the website that that's going to push them, to that next stage of the funnel. So, that's really the second use case. And to me, that's the big one, because it's one thing to know your data. I mean, that's kind of step one, like know your data. But step two is activate that data, right? Do something about it. Drive up those conversions, drive up those engagements, and drive up, all of those metrics that come down the funnel as well. So that's the demo that we have for you today. Nate, you have any thoughts or comments as I switch back over to the presentation?
Yeah. While you're still there, Grace had a question in the chat. She asks, can we show booking dollar data, booking money amount data from Salesforce as well? And Eric, I think, well, we're saying yes. I think there was one stipulation of how some of the bookings are classified in Salesforce, but yeah, maybe that's a Sam and Eric answer.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's being stored inside of Salesforce somewhere, maybe it's on the opportunity. It doesn't really matter the object, but as long as it's stored in Salesforce, then we can pull that into Adobe. Yes.
Grace, did that answer your question?
Yes, totally. Thank you. And just want to make sure. So the booking dollar will be associated to, for example, the visitors that we drive from personalization, right? So we can isolate the booking tied to specific unique visitors. Can we do that?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Let me see if I can show you how it's working here. Let me see if I can pull in the ECID. But that's exactly how it works under the hood, Grace, is that we call it ID resolution, but with our technology, we can associate an Adobe visitor ID to a Salesforce lead ID, right? And then we could follow that lead ID around as they progress to contact and become associated with an opportunity. So that's the level of our integration. That's kind of the level of granularity that we call it. But yeah, it's at the ECID level. So I can't remember the EVAR that stores it here. Maybe it's this one.
So sounds like it's an intersection of ECID, and then the unique lead ID in SFDC. Is that correct? Because we usually, like for ECID, it could include traffic and booking from many different sources.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the main idea is this: like our micro integrations, we associate, this lead ID in Salesforce has this ECID in Adobe or multiple ECIDs inside of Adobe, and with that combination, we can know everything about them, everything that they do on the web page, which campaigns they came to the website, what pages that they went to, what content they consumed, and then furthermore, down the funnel in Salesforce, everything that they do there. If a sales rep had a disco call with them, if they've been progressing through the funnel. So
That's wonderful. I have a campaign going on that can use this. If you guys need any like pilot candidates,
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be it.
Yeah, definitely. And
awesome.
Eric could talk to that too, because part of the initiative for this year and into next year is getting teams aware of this, and then having these best practices shared in different groups. So yeah, let's reach out through Eric and let's get you on the list.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Grace. Yeah.
Grace, what is your business unit? Just so I have it.
Network enterprise.
Network enterprise.
Yep. And we currently have some personalization going on our reimagined pages, where we can tell how many people currently have fill out our eLoca form.
Okay.
And so it would be great if I can go further down
Yeah.
to SFDC to get a revenue or booking, qualified booking data.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, send me put in the chat maybe an example URL of your page, and let's look at it. So if you don't mind just putting in the chat that web page that that your network enterprise business is from, and we'll take a look at it too.
Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Good. Any other questions? Great question.
I have a question. This is Eric. Sorry, I must have missed the first part. I was curious to know, in regards to the MQLs, if we could target a specific segment or a new segment. So I'll just pick the tower companies in the service provider world, which are also enterprise customers. So if I had a list of tower codes, right, in Salesforce, or at least tagged in Salesforce as tower codes, could I find out for all of those how they are progressing through the content that we've provided them and how they've engaged with us on Cisco.com?
Yes. Let me think about that one. Yeah. So if you're classifying, did you say that you're categorizing the MQLs, and one of the categories is Tarkos?
Yeah, well, that would be the plan. So that's kind of the FY23 plan. So and maybe it's already done. I'll have to double check on that with the BDM. But at a high level, right? So the idea is, hey, I've tagged all of these firms or companies at Tower Codes. I want to get a better sense or view over time how they're going to be engaging through diverse means, from social to and so on. So
yeah. Yep. Okay. I think I understand. Yeah. Let me show you. I've just hopped back into Analysis Workspace.
yeah.
That's doable. So, and let me show you how. So here, we were just looking at the metrics getting pulled in, for the demo. But if you notice here, we've got all these, we've pulled in all of these as well.
I see. Yeah.
Dimensions, okay. Right? And so we can have any MQL category. We could have that in here, and then you can break it out by category if you want to just filter in on that target one that you're talking about. We can do that too. So
excellent. Yeah. All right. So that gives us a lot of flexibility.
Yep. We're trying to give you pretty much any attribute that is in Salesforce. We can pull that in as a dimension into Adobe Analytics. So
wonderful. Thank you.
And Eric, what is your group?
So think of it as the service provider segment, or you might hear this mass scale infrastructure group that includes the web scale companies, but also all of the AT&T, Verizons, and so on. But we have the sell to, sell through motions where our service provider are selling to the enterprise. So we're also looking at those motions, right?
Okay.
So again, it gets complex.
Yes, yes. Provide part of the solution provider network is, I guess, is what you're meaning. Is it's
Yeah.
connected through that group. Okay, yeah, we've talked a little bit with, I think it's Alana and a couple people from that team. So okay, great. Yeah, fantastic. Let's do a follow-up as well.
Great, thanks.
Awesome. Well, I think we're almost at the end, and then yeah, we could take more questions as well. I'll just get through these last couple of slides, and then yeah, we can keep chatting as long as we got Eric. Let's see. So Datajoin, yeah, that's the main thing to remember for these micro integrations. We're connecting data across the stack, getting you better data inside of Adobe. We call them micro integrations for a reason. They're designed to be lightweight, accurate, and a lot of times when you think of integration, you think of some long, tedious process that's going to take years. This is not the case for our micro integrations. I thought we would just show this one more time. This animation kind of, it really shows at a high level like what our micro integrations do. All that data from the other systems, that first party customer journey data that you want to see inside of Adobe for reporting, for optimization, for attribution, for activation, it's all it's all possible to have that through the micro integrations. And I think that's it. That's the last slide that we have. So Nate, I guess I'll turn it back to you. So
yeah, a couple last thoughts here. As Sam mentioned, we do this integration primarily with Cisco and AppDynamics on Salesforce data to Adobe Analytics. We also are working on a project with that, a couple of BUs on Salesforce data Adobe Analytics event data back to Salesforce, as well as Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We do also have a project in place right now with AppDynamics team on Adobe data to Google Ads platform. So this, we can give more detail in a different session or a different time. If you have interest, just please email me and or Eric. And we're working on all of these types of integrations to get the data, where the teams need it and to take action. And that's really our key, is really helping you to have some data paradise. And I don't know, we could maybe have Sam sing another song unless there's other questions. It's Data Paradise. I love the song. It's fitting. Any other questions?
This is Eric again.
Okay.
How about?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. How about any internal? I'm thinking Sales Connect, right? How sellers consume content and how that could influence, in essence, the MQ. Well, even the SQL portion of it, right? Once they're qualified, right, there's a whole set, or even the MQL to that extent. Are there any data joins that exist or have been thought of? So basically, how our sellers consume the content that we create for them to engage with our customers.
think about that. Are you talking about getting that data, that digital behavior, but over into the CRM? Or I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yeah, no. So you've got the outside in kind of thing where you've got what we're doing externally, right, in the marketplace, and what we're tracking internally from a Salesforce with our MQL SQLs, right? And obviously what it entails in terms of revenue, but also what we're enabling our sellers to do so that it translates into better SQLs, right, to a certain extent, or seller motions. I think maybe that's the better word.
Yeah. One use case we have, Nate, you can chime in too. That's what I'm thinking of is, for some of our customers, it's actually the sales teams. They want better, I think, seller motions. As you said, Eric.
Yeah.
They want better data, better cues. into, hey, this prospect is heating up.
Yep.
And so we do have, the micro integration going the other direction where, you can know anytime, hey, this prospect, he viewed every video in this collection, for this particular feature. Know when all that happened, within the past 7 days, they downloaded all the PDFs for this particular feature. So we do have that as well, where it's the sales teams, they want to prospect better and close faster and at higher rates, and they just need that. They also need the full picture. So
Yep.
we do have
That
the
360 view, essentially, and where us as marketers can help our sellers say, hey, we just noticed that these targeted accounts are really looking at all of this content, and there seems to be an area that we haven't really helped you out with, or have you thought about this? Let's create this content so our content efficiency increases and improves the sales motion and closes deals faster and whatnot. So that whole loop, I know it's nirvana, but might as well ask.
It's achievable, and I think again that's what the customer journey team is seeking to do. We have a project on track right now with them to do that. Right, it's getting some of that event data back into Salesforce to guide the team. We did this for a mortgage company because they wanted to know, hey, if someone's filling out a mortgage calculator, can you let me know, our sales team know same day? So, if someone fills out a mortgage calculator for $500,000, it notified the sales agent, hey, reach out to that person today. They're interested in closing this, right? So it's that kind of immediacy that it's not as important day to day with what your journeys are, but it's still important. If someone's heating up and the sales team sees the team is moving quickly and heating up because of that content they're viewing and the top content they're viewing, it's good data to have so that the sales team knows what to do. It's informed decision for those teams. So
yeah, Eric, I think the last thing I'll say on that is, with this, well, you guys would have the best intel into like what content resonates at each stage of the funnel, right?
Mhm.
Once you have this data inside of Adobe, and sales is going to love you for it because you can go collaborate with them and say, hey, this is what they're consuming when they're MQLs, compared to when they were MAL or when they're SQL.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of work together and come up with that best content plan. So that's good.
Yeah, and Grace has a follow-up in the chat where she's saying, they have a dashboard set up that shows 177 unique visitors have completed the Eloqua form into Salesforce, and she would love to know the qualified booking number and dollar amounts. And yeah, absolutely, Grace, that's achievable with this. So
Thank you. I will set up a meeting.
yeah, great. Yeah, super.
That'll be great. Yeah.
Okay. Great participation. Any other questions? We love it. We love to answer the questions. Okay, so I guess I just need to make sure that David, Eric, and Grace give me their emails so I'll send out these vouchers for Uber lunch. So you can go get something ordered in if you want.
Nice.
Great questions. Okay, so you've got my email here on the screen. Sam's got it, nate@datajoin.com. Send it over, and super exciting. We're glad to have shared some info. I think unless we have any other questions, I think we're ready to break. I think Eric said we're good there, Eric?
We're good. I guess, first of all, let's give a round of applause for the guys at Datajoin, especially Sam, man. You gracing us with your mad ukulele skills, bro. I didn't even know you had it like that, for real. So we've got Mr. Tony Miller coming on next. So let's take a 20-minute break. I know some people probably haven't had lunch yet, so let's go ahead and break for 20. We'll come back at 1 o'clock, and Mr. Tony Miller will kind of clean up hitter for us. We'll finish the day for us. So with that,
thanks so much, everyone. Yeah, aloha.
Aloha, man.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Thanks, guys. All right, so we'll see everybody else. We'll see you guys back at 1 o'clock Eastern in 20 minutes. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep, no worries.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.